With a strong track record in building, deploying, and maintaining high-quality web and mobile applications, proficient in modern frameworks and cross-platform technologies, with a keen focus on user-centered design and performance optimization, collaborative, adaptable, and committed to delivering seamless digital experience that aligns with evolving business needs. Church, can you please make welcome our first panelist for this morning, Bro Damilola Jolayemi. Keep celebrating, keep celebrating, keep celebrating, keep celebrating, keep celebrating. Thank you.
All right.
I almost asked the media team what your soundtrack was so that we can play it for you as you're coming in.
Thank you, sir. All right, so next, our other panelist today is someone we all know, and someone we've been blessed with over time. He's a consultant, a business educator, and fashion entrepreneur with half a decade of experience. I just want to chip in that we really don't know what we are getting here this afternoon, this morning. In the years of his experience, he's built a business that has helped over 700 fashion designers.
This is a part where you clap. Come on now. You can do this.
Both in, let me add this so we'll clap more. Both in Nigeria and in European countries, he has helped them to learn how to sketch their fashion ideas while also helping over 150 fashion business owners increase their business revenues. This is no other person than Pastor Dotun Collins.
Come on, celebrate. Celebrate.
Celebrating.
All right. Woo. Our final panelist for this session is an accountant by profession with 17 years in career. 17 years career in accounting practices. He's skilled in accounting, auditing, and forensic analysis. He is the finance manager and management staff in a B2B e-commerce company. Yeah. So let me explain to you. If you run a B2C customer, a B2C service where you only just service customers, individual customers, is different. The kind of money you will be recording and doing forensic analysis for is not as much. But when you do business to business where the volume is high, you know that 17 years of experience is not just 17, it's like 50. Glory to God. Amen. He's a council member serving as the treasurer of the Foursquare Orile Agege Zonal Quarter Church. He's married to one wife, a woman. You know, you have to be specific these days. And the marriage is blessed with 3 children. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, can we please make welcome our own Pastor Rotimi Olasibosun. Keep celebrating him as he comes forward.
All right, so like we said, we've told you, and I'm sure you already know that you're in for a wonderful time. You know, all of us here in one way or the other aspiring to one thing or the other. And I would actually say that these are men we can aspire to follow after. So they are here to give us the wisdom to, to have built what they've built over time. And I mean, like Pastor Afi said earlier, we are copying. We're going to copy and put our own twist to things. So let's get ready to learn and get ready to apply to our lives. Praise God.
Hallelujah. Glory to Jesus. One more time, please, church. Can we please celebrate them? Celebrate them.
Right.
People always say that you don't know what you have until you lose it, but we know what we have and we're not going to lose it. Amen. Glory to God. I was in a conference recently and they had an array of speakers and I was like, okay. But then I realized that, they were in a church. So they had to bring them from outside the church to come speak to them in the church. And I'm grateful to God that all these speakers, I'm glad to announce to you that they are not from any other place, from any other where in the world. They are from here in this church. So we are blessed. Celebrate.
And without further ado, we go into the questions we have. And our first question goes to our own Ogadami. Right. So please, like I said, you can put down your questions as we go along, and ushers will be around to pick them up. Right. So, sir, how does one keep up in an ever-evolving world of technology that we are in? Now, as someone who dabbles in technology, I've also realized that over time, if you've learned one, you're proficient in one stuff, before you know it, another thing has come out, or that same thing has also, it has also taken evolved. It's taken a new look, a new turn. Now, it seems like before you learn, look, I've just said, and then how do you stay updated with the pace of change in the tech industry? How do we keep up?
Yes, thank you. So, all right. First, you have to have the foundation. Every aspect of technology has its own foundations. Programming, that would be the language. Networking, that would be hardware and networking too, basically connecting systems together. In biotech, that would be human plus AI knowledge too. So if you have the correct foundations, whatever comes, flows under, stands on that foundation. If you don't have the foundation, it's going to be harder for you to learn new things. And you should be prepared to learn new things actually, because things change quickly in tech. So if you have the correct foundation, that will be the main key. You can learn new things as they come along. Then the next step will be you should follow industry experts or companies. For example, if you're interested in cloud computing, that would be AWS. You have a good engineering blog where they post things about how they do things in their company. So you should read stuff like that. Or Netflix too, they post about how the app is built, how they engineer their scalability. So you actually follow this and learn. Then also, you should put an eye out on things that are coming out. Let's say like 5 years ago, it was going to be AI that was coming out with data analysis, machine learning, then we are still in AI now. So you should put an eye on things that are coming out. You shouldn't learn them because you might just jump on the next shiny object. Don't learn them yet. Just hold on to it. Make sure you know what's available, what is coming. So at some point when you need to learn them, you can learn them. So you are prepared for that kind of thing. The next one will be join newsletters. That one reduces the stress for you. If you are a programmer, join multiple newsletters that focus on what you do. So in the weekend, you just go to your email and read everything, and you can see what you like or what's not needed from it. Basically, that's most.
Thank you very
Wow,
much.
thank you so much. You said something about having the right foundation, and that is how you start. So I'm just going to piggyback off that question for you also. So what would you say was your own foundation for what you learned? So there's somebody out there right now that feels like, oh, I want to be like Brodami, right? And they don't know the first way to go as regards becoming like you, right? So what would you say is that foundation that they need to have to then begin?
Okay, so I'm a full stack developer, which means I work on the back end and the front end. The back end is what process? Let's say you see a Google form. So when you friends submit on the form to process the form to the back end handles everything, submitting it, saving it, getting notifications to whoever is supposed to act on it.
Yeah.
The front end is what you see. So I work on both. Now, for that, my foundation is the languages. That would be JavaScript, that's the most popular, and Python or PHP or whatever. So if you know those languages very well, whatever comes next is going to be new languages or new frameworks based on those languages. So I don't have to go back again or be struggling because I already have the foundations. I'm just going to look, it's like Igbo and Yoruba or Hausa. The way you talk is, the sounds are different, but what you're saying, the actions are the same.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
just it.
It's true.
So if you have the basic knowledge of the foundation, it's easier for you to just take on anything.
That means, wow, that's fantastic. Where does tongues, in all of this language, where does tongues come in?
When you are struggling with a project for 3 months.
All right, thank you. Come and celebrate one more time.
Right. So in all the languages you learn, make sure you speak in tongues too. All right. So Pastor Dotsu, at what point did you decide you wanted to do fashion illustration? At what point did it become like this is just beyond them? I'm just scribbling, and it became a passion.
All right.
Because I see your classes, and I see how much you charge for them. Please, I need to know at what point did you decide to become a fashion illustrator?
So I've always had knowledge in art. I could sketch and do all of those things. But in my 200 level, 300 level in university, I realized that I studied chemical engineering, by the way.
That is how to do soap.
How to do so, all of those things, I can't even remember. But I realized that I just lost interest midway. I was like, what am I doing? Yes, I read, I pass exams, but I'm like, I did not feel fulfilled. There was this form of void I was feeling, and it began to make me just dwindle in my academics. I started skipping classes. But every time I am at home, I realized that there is something in my wardrobe that feels like it is just calling me. I don't have so many clothes, or I did not have so many clothes. But there was something in my wardrobe that felt like it was always calling me. And then I'll go there, I'll just arrange my clothes, I'll pick it up, pick a trouser. I'll say, this one can rhyme with this one now. I'll try it on. I say, and it makes sense, so I'll remove it, try something else, I remove it. And so I had the picture of all of those outfits, and the once in a while that I get to go to classes, people are like, oh, this guy is so stylish. They don't know that I've tried it like 5 times in my house. So I began to see that people began to see me as somebody that is fashionable, and I think at some point I even got an award as the most fashionable person in my department and all that. But in 2020, I finished school in 2019, and in 2020, I was 7. That was when COVID-19 started. I had to go back home. I was cutting with a friend, so I went back to my parents' house, and I just got tired of the kind of life I was living. We just wake up in the morning. There was lockdown, so everybody were literally at home, and NEPA was always giving us lights. And my folks were always watching this. I'm trying to remember the name of this Bollywood movie. Is it Mehek or something like that? Mehek, right? Yes. And initially, I was always criticizing. I'm like, what are you people saying? And then one day, I just caught myself asking, so kilo she kiniko. And then the got me that, I'm already getting trapped in this thing. So I just decided, okay, you know what? I think it's time to skip watching TV. I would always be in my room, always on my phone. I was receiving steady 33K. So there was money for data. I would always be in my room, always on my phone, pressing. And then I just felt tired of that as well, because I'm somebody, I hate being idle. Once I'm idle, I just feel like, what's going on? Am I wasting my life? So I had another friend that was an artist. And then that very day, I just walked up to him. Okay, so before this time, while I was still in school, there was this guy. He's also fashionable. I saw him sketching, designs and all that. So I reached out to him. I was like, I love what you're doing. And so it stuck to my head that, you can actually do this. And while I was at home, I was like, I can't just be wasting away. On a very hot afternoon, I went to my friend's house. I said, guy, Alpha, I want to go buy a drawing book. Where they always get your art materials? Take me there. So it was skeptical. I was like, guys, Sunday. And I said, see, if you don't follow me, I go just walk, I go until I find waiting at the... When he saw that I was very, very serious, he followed me. So I got my sketchbook, and within 2 weeks, I exhausted the sketchbook. I erased everything. I exhausted it again. Like, I was so hungry to do it. So over time, one thing about me, right from time, I would say, to an extent, I've been bold to an extent, to a very large extent. I think that I do certain things, and then after I do them, I'm like, hey, hope I've not caused myself so much trouble like this. But I realized that every time I push myself into it, I always find a way of figuring it out. So it always propels me to take that bold step. So I was like, I will open this one status, I will see online class, cooking. Open another person's status, I'll see online class, baking. I'll open another person's status, I will see something else. I'm like, me too, I want to do online class. And I told my friend, it was like, are you crazy? You just started this thing in 2 weeks. I was like, I'll do it. He said, okay. Because once I say I want to do something like that, and I think that resonates with something that you mentioned while you were speaking, that always have people that are very supportive in your midst. I feel like it gave me the support I needed the most at that point, because it could have actually just, watered down the hunger and the passion in me. So it was like, well, okay, no wala. And he has like a number of followers on Twitter. It was also good in design. So he designed the first flyer that I did, by the way. And the class cost 1,500 naira. So I posted the flyer out. And
sorry, please, just for context.
Okay, yes.
For
okay.
context, How much does your class cost now? No, just for context. And this was in 2020, right? So how much does your class cost now? Or sorry, how much did your last class cost?
Our current class, today it costs 200,000 naira.
They clap.
It's just a small change.
Don't start, eh? Don't start. Okay, go on, sir.
So I charged 1,500 naira then, and that was the first time I would say I made 45,000 naira or so. 5 times 30. 30 people share. I made 45,000 naira. My own money that I made, not that they sent to me, not NYC money. And I was like, so I can actually make money. And after that first class, people that attended that first class, I had people from Kenya, I had somebody from, I think, Jamaica. So it gave me I was like, if people from abroad can be attending this thing, why not? And the people that attended that set, they began to refer their friends. They reached out to me, they're like, Doctor, are you taking another cohort? I'm like, me that I just wanted to just do this thing. I'm like, yes, sir, don't worry. You see the flyer very soon. I quickly told my friend, oh boy, design another flyer for me. So I would say that how I got into it was just because I hated being idle, and I took that bold move of just, using using the skill that I feel like I had built over time and the relationship capital. Okay, I think I should mention a little bit of this. I was using an Infinix Hot 4 Pro, and this particular phone, those phones that you cannot use without having ice block or cold water close to you, because in oh, okay, Hot 4 Pro, I get the Hot 4, no wonder. And it was always getting hot. So I could, the first day of class, I got stuck midway because my phone started hanging. I was like, Jesus Christ. And these people were so eager. First day, there's usually this drive. So I was lucky to have one of my cousins. He was using an iPhone XX Max then. So I used this phone for that first class. And every time I would want to host, the consecutive days I hosted the class, I would always go to his house to go and host the class. So I feel like what actually made me to, just put myself into this would be the skill, the relationship capital that I had around me. And I would say the leading of God too, because, of all the skills to think about at that point, I just chose that one. So those are the things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So I think we need to amend that profile. We said Africa and European countries. This is worldwide. Let's celebrate him. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So let's go to Pastor Rotimi. For many people here, they've chosen their career paths already. But sometimes, your career path that you want to do can be influenced by the money that they are paying them in where they are going to. Somebody will be like, why do you do what you are doing? It's because of money. Don't mind me, please. Right, but for someone who did not study accounting in school, you're an accountant with 17 years of experience, and I'm sure that in the course of your career, you've had to employ other accountants. For somebody who did not study accounting, do you think that there is a chance that they could also get into that field or into that career path? Okay.
Praise God. First and foremost, it's a privilege for me to fellowship with us. To save time, straight to the question. Let me answer that question with an illustration. I was privileged to mentor my son. Okay. Yes, he was done with his school sats. He had his papers. He wrote JAMB, good. He picked his course. What I saw there was accounting. Then the next question was, is it because your dad is an accountant? I said, not really, but I want to be an accountant. Then the next thing I told him, okay, fine. If that is your purpose, if that is what we'll do, there are other means of being an accountant other than going for accounting in your first degree. Then the next thing is, okay, what are your other interests? We have to evaluate together. Then we concluded on, guy, go for this. Go for economics. With economics, you can do so many other things. Then come back to your accounting. You want to be an accountant. I told him something then that, when in the course of my career, I had a boss who was the chief accountant at that time. And guess what? The person has first degree in zoology, not accounting. Oh. So then I told him...
Taking care of animals.
Yes.
Wild animals.
And we were animals at that time.
Wild animals.
So then how did... You can imagine somebody who is a zoology, then eventually become chief accountant. How did she become? And those were the analysis I gave my son then. That what matters to becoming an accountant? It's you not just studying accounting. You might study accounting and you might not be a good accountant, or you might be a good accountant. You might not thrive in that discipline. What stands you out in accounting palace or in accounting profession? It's your professional certification. Then I told him, guy, what you can do is, why you put in for economics as your first degree course, then I will walk you through how you can enroll for accounting professional course. Even while you study in your first degree, you can also be fulfilling in that other side, such that one will complement the other. So, and we are on that track. By God's grace, is by now, I think we'll be going to 300 level, and he's done with, he has just one level of accounting technical scheme course to do. So that means stage 1, stage 2 is gone, just stage 3. So where I'm going is, what matters in accounting? It's if you think that is what you want to do, you want to be an accountant, then you don't necessarily need to have studied accounting. You just come with that determination, then go for accounting certification. You might start from 8 years, accounting technical scheme. Because if you had knowledge in a related course, say business admin, economics, what other course? Related courses in accounting, fine. You might just go straight to professional courses. But if yours is, you don't have an idea at all, and you feel this is what I want to do at this moment, go for accounting technical scheme. It's in 3 stages, and by the time you are done, I tell you, when I have privilege to employ accountants in my office or in various offices I've worked for, even if it's a BSc holder, even if the person is a master's degree holder, I am looking for that accounting technical scheme. If the person started with the rudiment, if I see somebody, he has 8 years certification and a master's, or just 8 years certification and just first degree, and someone who does not go that line, and eventually he has accounting as his first degree, I would choose the one that has accounting technical scheme certification over the one that just have accounting as his first degree certificate. The reason is that if you go for 8 years certification, you would learn the rudiment, you will be good, you would love yourself that you went for accounting. So that is the advice I would give to whoever is not an accountant and want to go for accounting course.
That's so phenomenal. Can we celebrate Pastor Rosen, please? But interesting. I would almost feel like he was talking to me because I studied animal nutrition too. So, but not zoology. Ours was fowl, domestic animals, not zoology.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I'm sure we've been learning and we've had questions answered. Again, please put down your questions if you have any. So, Brother, we have a question for you. So So what is the prerequisite? I mean, that's as a person, what should I have? And number of years it takes to learn becoming a full stack developer. And on the tail of that question is, how much does a full stack developer make?
First question again. Sorry, the first question again.
Yeah, what do I need to have to, and the number of years of experience to become a full stack developer?
Number of years experience, as much as possible.
How many years will I need to invest?
Okay.
And be like, oh yeah, no, I think I'm a full stack developer.
Full stack developer. Medium, 4 years. To be very, very sound, you need medium 4 years. But the 4 years matters nothing if you can't build anything. So you should have a lot of experience. 4 years means at least you should have built a lot of, it might not be production grade, but you should be able to explain every single piece of code you write. If you get to an interview stage and they ask you the question, you have 4 years experience, okay, so what have you built? And you said a website, you are done already. It's nothing. The website or a small mobile app is the bare minimum. You should have done a lot more to prove you whatever you're asking for, which is going back to the how much a full stack web developer is you're asking. That is still going to be based on your experience. If you check most job descriptions, they're going to tell you remuneration based on experience and performance.
Okay.
Don't accept the performance part. You might never come. But on experience, you cannot argue with that. You need to have experience to be able to say you are worth this much. And also, if you are well experienced and you're asking for something very low, they will still not accept you because it means you're lying about what you say you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's true.
All right.
You didn't answer the second question.
I will not answer the second question.
All right.
But let's say, just in case you want to know, if you're very good, $5,000 upwards. That will be the senior level, basically. Yeah, so. Per month, yes.
I have a laptop. Do you think that my laptop can help me learn?
You don't have time, you're a content creator.
I'm being a full stack developer, content creator.
Okay. So, sir, you spoke about experience, right? That you need to be experienced to be able to negotiate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to ask a question for those of us who are just starting out. This is the part.
Those of us.
those of us that are just starting out, you know, they say we should do certifications, we should do this and that, you know, and I don't know the number of certificates I have already, that I've already done. But how do I navigate entering the tech workspace without said experience? I have a lot of certificates. How do I, and they are expecting experience. What do I do?
Can you clarify what role in particular?
I'm sorry?
What role?
This is just generally. If I'm
General.
going to, yeah, just
Okay.
generally.
For general, it's going to be hard to say, but let me give an example of a web or mobile developer. If you're starting out and let's say you learned for 1 or 1.5 years and you want a job now, before you even apply, you should have experience in the sense that you should build something. So, for example, in this church right now, you can build an app for the church, basically. Instead of having the media to project something on the screen for us to screenshot and whatever, everybody's on the church group. You can build an app or a web app or a mobile app, send a link there where people can download it, and whatever the church needs to sign up for something to do this and that, they can just create a form on it and people can sign up and do stuff. That's an idea. That's an experience. You can talk to someone like, I built this. It's creative because it comes from you, so they know that you can think from the starting point to building it to execution. You're not just sitting there for us to give you stuff to build. If you're telling me you've done something for 1 year, that's just proof of knowledge. Even certification is proof of knowledge in tech. You still have to show what you've done with that knowledge. And if you keep adding more to it, if after 1 year, 2 years, you have not done anything, because the higher you go, the more experience you require, the more things you should have built with that experience, with that knowledge you have. So you should just start now. If you are in project management, there are people around there I know Sam Code is a developer, I know someone is a UI UX. You can gather them together, think of a product and build it out. All of you have shared experience on that product. And you can even add that you are leads on the project too. So you can just come up with problems around you, build solutions for it, and it's your experience. And if you don't want to do that, you have to go back to a bootcamp or certification that teaches you by giving you projects to build as you go along. That's another option.
Thank you very much. I just want to ask, is someone seeing something here? Is someone picking something from here? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Pick as much as you can pick from here because this is going to change your life, right? Also, if there are questions, do we have questions now? If you have questions, you could please come out to ask your questions for those of us that have questions as we proceed and move forward. We're moving into the final phase of this panel session. So if you have questions, do want to come out and ask your questions. We have a fashion illustrator who started from charging 1,500 to charging 200,000 naira for his class right now. He has trained. Now, not just a fashion, sorry, you corrected me. It's not just a fashion illustrator anymore. He's a business educator. So if you want to start a business, you want to talk to him. We have a pastor with 17 years of experience in accounting and has mentored other accountants in the field. We also have a full stack developer with years of experience also. So you want to learn from and glean. Somebody's out there saying that, I don't want to be a full stack developer. I don't want to be a fashion illustrator. I don't want to be an accountant. But you want to be a digital marketer. The same principle also still applies and you can learn from them and ask the same questions, right? So I'm going to go to Pastor Rotim again one more time. I'm going to say that in your years of experience hiring people, having to fire people also at some point, I want to believe, right? What would you say are the qualities that you look for, aside from the skill that a person would have? What would you say are the qualities that you look for in a person to hire them, and the qualities that you also spot that made you decide to fire a person?
Okay, thank you. Yes, in the business world, it has often to play out that you have to, especially when you are employing people, you have to take some unscientific decision at times. Some of the times it's dependent on, depends on, number one, what role are you interviewed for? Some people, they appear for interview. They appear unprepared for an interview. Now, one of the ways to prepare for an interview is, you should understand the role very well. What is the role? What did they advertise for? In the course of the advertisement, they will have stated the job description. So oftentimes, the questions we're asking on the board, maybe it's just one person that will be asking you technical questions. And the technical questions, and that person that is asking technical questions, his own weight might be, it can't be less than 50%. It can even be 70%. And most of the time, he's the one that says who to pick at the end of the day. So, but most people, they just, vacancy, accountant, they applied. But they didn't go through the detail in that the job description will have been there. What we actually wanted to come and solve would be there. It might be different from what you are currently doing in your present place of work. So if you study it very well, and I'm sure it applies to other roles too, study that content very well, and then prepare in line with what you saw in that advertisement. Then I tell you, you will be able to convince the panel. Because what matters to them is, this is what we want you to come and do. And you are speaking out of points. So other things you'll be saying, you want to impress, you want to show, might be okay, might be correct, but to that panel, you are speaking out of point. So what matters is, if you are able to speak to what they wanted you to come and do, which has been stated in that advertisement, it matters. 1. 2, the organization you are coming to work for, assuming, okay, you would succeed in that interview, you should have a brief knowledge of that organization. What do they do? Not that you are just coming. I've had situations where a candidate come for interview and do you have questions for us? Then the next thing is, what do you do? Something like, see, I must have had a better impression of the candidate before then. But that question alone will make me to go back and adjust what score I've given the person. Because one of the very first things you should do, you should, what do we call it? Research about that organization. That organization, know a bit. You don't need to know everything. You might not know all their stories. Know a bit about that organization. Know a bit about the industry where that organization plays. So if you have a knowledge of the organization, knowledge about the industry, a knowledge about what they want you to come for. See, accounting knowledge is broad, but there will be a specific role that they are calling for. Have that understanding, then other things would follow. Other things are judgmental. I may see you, like you. Yes, I know those are general ones. I'm not dwelling on those. You should dress smart. This is the way you should appear. Those ones you just do all those. The way you appear, the way you speak, the way you attend to the panelists. We just help me. Maybe we just affect my judgment. Okay, because, that guy is a very smart guy. I like the way. No, all those are judgmental. They are additive, but the important ones are those ones that I mentioned.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Pastor Watson, sir, we have this question for you. So we know you're you're public in the social media space. And we have a lot of us here that will be content creators, doing things in the social media space. So the question we have is, how do you balance authenticity, that is who we are in Christ, with what performs well algorithmically? What performs well on the algorithm? How do we balance?
First, I would say that algorithm is just a feedback that has been programmed based on the reaction of people to a particular post. So at the end of the day, the people actually determine, or the people are the algorithm in that sense. How then do we balance, or how do we infuse our authenticity into our content out there? First, as believers, we have to understand that, because I think that I've had this question before. The person says, is it a must that, they're always posting about Jesus and all that, especially if it's like a business. So I would say that first, you have to understand that if it's a niche that you've decided to choose, it is fine. There are people out there that all they just want to see, or all they will follow you for, is to hear about Christ. If that is what you want to do, it is fine. But if you're a business owner and we come into your page, I am a believer. If I come into your page and all I'm just seeing everywhere is Jesus Christ and I'm not seeing your product, I will not buy. I will look for another person who may be a non-believer, but I can see the products that they have and I'll buy from them. So I just feel like we should maybe have a better context of what we are trying to get or what we are trying to achieve. And that will be the driving force to every other thing that we do. If you are into business, your products, and then how do you now show your Christ nature will be through the way that you serve that product. You are serving it excellently. You being a believer would mean that you show integrity in the way that you deal with people. You have a deal that you maybe have to sort with people and all that. You show integrity. You are excellent because you carry an excellent spirit in you. So we should see through the way that you are projecting what you do. And I think that there's an example I would really love to use. Every time I read 1 Kings, I think chapter 10, verse 1, it says that, because I love to put things in context. And it says there's a particular lady called Queen of Sheba. And, on that particular day, she was scrolling through her Instagram. And on her Explore page, she came about a post on Instablog. And it reads the top wealthiest men in the world. And on top of that list, there's a particular man called Solomon. And when that particular man was interviewed, they asked him, what's the secret to your business success? He said, well, God did it for me. And she was like, oh, I beg Jerry, all these people, all these 4-1, all these fraudsters. And so she said, okay, let me even check these people. She checked his page. She saw, some of his deals that he has sealed with people in the Middle East. She saw his camels. She saw pictures of his luxurious mansions and all that. And she was like, this guy is using PR. All of these things are fake. He's faking it. So she said, you know what? Let me book a consult, because he's also a business consultant, by the way, like me. So she booked a business consultation session with him, and she came along with a camera. And the aim was that she wanted to prove him wrong. She wanted to show the world that this man is not what he says he is. So she came with a crew, and she brought gifts and all that. And she sat with Solomon, the wealthiest man at the time. And she began to ask him several questions. And he kept he kept giving her answers. And first of all, before he even answered the question, when she came into the palace, she was like, Amo, this thing is not Photoshop. Oh. She saw the cup he was using to drink, gold. She saw his servants dressed in purple linens. She was like, okay. Or is it because I'm coming that these people quickly went to disguise? So she said, okay. She was shy observing. And she began to ask him very difficult questions. And the Bible recorded that he kept answering her questions. But, okay, and then in verse, 9, she herself now attested to it. If we can display that, please. I think verse 9, yes. It says that, blessed be the, I can't remember the exact way, but it says that, blessed is God who has made you to be king. So it meant that the first point of attraction for King Solomon was his excellence, was the result that he had. Not God, not posting about Jesus Christ in that sense. And then by virtue of the excellence, his fame spread abroad. And when people came to see the results, what did he do? He referred them to God. Such that even if you are a doubting Thomas, so long as you come in contact with him, you will become a witness. And then it says that her spirit left her, and then she truly accepted that it's God that did this one, it's not man. So I'm just saying that as believers, we should understand that authenticity in that sense, like I said, may necessarily not be that you're posting about Jesus Christ every day, you're talking about Christ every day, especially in the marketplace. But what people want in the marketplace is your skill, is what you can do to solve their problems, is your service to them, how you can help them get rid of maybe a trouble that they're having. But when they see the results that you have given to them based on that, then they will really see that, yes, this is Christ that's working you. I believe I've answered the question.
Thanks, sir.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you very much. So if there are questions, we can please, ushers, could you please bring the questions forward while we take the questions very quickly? Let's take the questions. But if you're having a good time listening to our panelists, could you give a shout of joy? That's a shout. I'm not sure it's a shout of joy. I'm going to try it again. All right. So there's a question here that says, you're interested in the tech world and you don't know where to start. How do you start? I think he talks about that when he was talking about it, if you listen. So because of our time, let's check for the other questions. Okay, this person says, I want to ask, how is it possible to study economics together with accounting? Because I would like to study economics and also be a qualified accountant. I think you should probably speak to Emmanuel Latuboso. Give you Rian. But sir, could you quickly just briefly speak on that?
Very briefly. Very briefly. Accounting is so very simple, very easy to go into. There's something with your school sets. 5 what do they call it? Credits, yeah. 5 credits, including English and mathematics. You can register for accounting technical scheme certification. 8 years. So 8 years, what someone in maybe year one, the accounting parts of the course you will learn in year one, year two of accounting. 8 years will take care of it. So, and it's very easy. They would take it step by step, like they understand that you are just a school cert. Even if you have more than school cert, that you are just a school cert. Accounting technical scheme is very good for you to go into accounting. So, while you are studying economics as your first degree, so economics as a first degree, 8 years, then 1, 2, depending on maybe how busy you are in your first degree or other things you are doing, 8 years is, the exam is written every 6 months, depending on you. Within 1.5 years, you can be a graduate. I mean, you can be certified as an AAT, Accounting Technical Scheme, something. So 1.5 years, depending on while you are passing it and if you have the time to dedicate to it. Then when you are done with ATS, then the accounting professional course, you will have exemption. You will have exemption. Instead of you writing 5 stages, you will write only 2 stages. And that 2 stages, within 1 year, you can be done with the 2 stages. And I bet you, like my colleagues in the office, my subordinates in the office, I always tell them that the difference between you and me and you guys is the ICANN certification that I have. So just trying to encourage them. So if you have your, in accounting, if you have your certification, then forget it. You can never be afraid of losing your job at any point in time. And if you have other skills, and if you have very good, if you are well coordinated too, then the sky is your limit. In that place, you will not lose your job because they know your value. But if you ever lose your job, forget about it. Sorry to extend it. I have, in the course of my career, I've lost my job. I've been laid off not less than 2 times. 2 different times. And the next thing is just to pick myself up and start looking out again. But the only opportunity I had was I'm already a chartered accountant. And with that, I am different from, or that singles me out from those who are just accountants, who just read accounting. Go to any institution today, I think if not the highest number of students, accounting students, except they don't study accounting in that school, accounting students usually maybe have the largest number. But a lot of them are very lazy. They don't want to go that extra mile. Go for that certification. If you have it, then forget about it. That confidence is there for you. If anything happens, you're able to pick yourself up much earlier than those who does not have the certification.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Can we celebrate it, please? Thank you so much, sir. Okay, great. So 2 more questions for you. Hope that our time can take it. I work in the operations department of a B2B e-commerce company, currently transitioning into a fintech. I am currently doing my MBA. Here is my question. Are there courses or certifications I can take to have an edge, whether in my current place of work or any other company out there? I would also appreciate if you can name a good establishment I can start looking to apply to. But are there certifications, aside from the MBA certification, he works in the operations department of an e-commerce company?
Okay, so that could be very extensive. But of course, like I will always say, the people I've had opportunity to talk to, see whatever field you are, whatever it's your career line, there is always something that stands people out in that line, in that career. For example, mine is, okay, as an accountant, you have your certification. So other courses too, just look for it. If there is any form of certification, you can also take in that very line you are. Except you are saying, oh, I made a mistake, this is not supposed to be my career. But let's assume you are in the right career, then go another step to look for what is the certification that will make me, that would make me a star in this career. So it depends. It depends. There and as an extension to that, there we have some evergreen transferable skill. That if you have those skills, aside from anything happening, your company is transitioning, anything is happening, you would always be considered. And those are something like are you a critical thinking person? How do you, or you just take, you are given a job, you are given an assignment, your boss gives you something to do, you just feel, oh, he asked me to do this, he asked me to export something, and I just did it, and that's all. So do you go that a step further? Or he has asked you to give him a set of data. Then, did you work on the data to make it more meaningful? And from there, the person will say that, oh, you are. Then another thing is your communication skill. Are you a good communicator? Do you relate with other people? Do you relate with other departments? The era of I'm an accountant is only accounting I will do. That era is gone. There's something they call business partnering. Do you know a bit of what they do in other departments? There is a lot of other things like that. So basically, you develop, or you can look for the online platform is also there. You can look for any relevant course, short courses that you can do, and that will also help you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So we have this question here, and I'd like Brother Amit to please answer. And I also have something to add to this. It's quite similar. Said, were there times you felt consumed or overwhelmed in the process of growth, probably through failures or things not working out as expected? How did you put yourself back on track? Person gave an example. You study online courses, and at a point, it looks like everything is scattered and you think you cannot cope. So that's one. Just so that you can answer together, it's around the same. How do you deal, or how do you advise one deals with burnout, especially in the tech environment?
Okay, so for burnout, there is no one solution. It depends on your type of person, what you do to relax. For me, I just stop coding. I don't think code, I don't write code, I don't see code, I don't do anything that is not code. If I'm feeling burnout, it might be for days, it might be for weeks. So maybe you have to just take time off. That's what works for me. So you have to find what works for you. Then the first question again.
Yeah, so they feel consumed or overwhelmed.
Yeah, you feel consumed or overwhelmed. That will definitely come when you're starting out, because you're learning multiple things at the same time to form a main object, basically. If you're learning from yourself or bootcamp, just continue. Keep fumbling. It's like learning to walk like a child. They're going to fall down, they're going to stand up, they're going to run, they're going to fall, they're going to just stand up and keep walking. At some point in time, you're going to start walking and you're going to fall. If you fall, it's going to be your mistake, or maybe you're learning something new. But you just keep going. Don't stop because you're feeling consumed or it's too much or whatever. You're just complaining. Stop complaining and just do the work. Basically, that's just your advice. Do the work. You're going to just assume that you're a baby learning to walk. At some point in time, it's going to click, and that's all. You just get to the flow.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you so much. If you're learning, can you give a shout of joy now? Okay. There. All right. So this question, it says, I studied chemistry in my first degree, started my career in customer service, felt I was not fulfilled, needed to do more. I went for an MBA with emphasis on management. Currently working as an executive assistant to the MD. At this point, I feel stuck. I have stopped applying for jobs because I don't even know the career path to take or build on. Kindly assist to advise what career path. Pastor Rosemi, if you would like to oblige.
Okay. Praise God.
Okay, let me just add this question to it. I think that is around the same climate. So, okay, to the person that studied economics and later studied accounting, and to the person that, this is the beginning, who is in high level? Oh, okay, sorry, please. The person that studied economics and later studied accounting and the person who studied only accounting, who is in the higher institution, and both of them wrote ICANN. Sorry, sir, I just answered that one. I don't understand the question.
I think I can. So, sorry, sir, I think I can explain. This person is two different people. One studied economics and later studied accounting, while the other person just studies accounting. Which of them has a higher advantage when both of them studied ICANN?
Wow, you got all that from this thing already. She's phenomenal. Can we celebrate that all please? It's phenomenal.
Okay, let me start with that. Whatever course you study, either accounting or economics or any course, so far you are a graduate and you want to come into accounting, you are very free. One of the to register for ICANN, the basic requirement is being a graduate in any field. Your field now determines the number of exemptions that they will grant you. So if, say, your field is a relevant one to accounting, they know you must have learned accounting in your year 1, year 2, and something, taxation, you must have known about it. They might exempt you from those courses and the like. But if you don't have, but there will be, so far you're a graduate, there will be something they will exempt you. So the main requirement for ICANN to register for ICANN is just be a graduate. Then you are good. Whether you study economics or accounting, it does not matter. But the advantage the person that studies accounting would have over those that does not study accounting is, if you study accounting, you have higher exemptions. You are a graduate in accounting, you want to go for ICANN, then I think you will have almost the same exemptions. You have higher exemptions than the one they will grant an ATS certified person. So you might be at the same level, but there will be some courses in the other level that they would grant the person. So basically, if you are a graduate, you can study account. You can register for ICANN. You are a graduate, you can register for ICANN. So that's that. Then the first one, it's about what?
Yeah, the first question, the person said that study chemistry first degree.
Okay.
And now he has done his MBA, or he's doing the MBA with emphasis in management.
Okay.
But he has not gotten or she has not gotten a job in that regard.
Okay.
And now she's stuck. He's stuck.
So it's a case of you either you studied a wrong course or you're doing a wrong job. Maybe either of the cases, because that's the way you are feeling now. I think there are basic steps that you have to take. Number one, you have to start with yourself. How do I mean? Start with a kind of a self-honesty of yourself, without being afraid, without being ashamed. So know yourself now that, oh, okay, something is wrong somewhere. I am in the wrong path. So, and now I want to do what I feel I should be doing. So I have something that is, realizing you've made a misaligned choice. So what happened? Maybe you have made a misaligned choice. It isn't a failure. That doesn't mean you have failed. But what does it mean? It means you now have clarity. You now have clarity. It's not that you have failed. It's not that you now have clarity. That's fine. So you have realized that. Then the next thing is you have to reflect deeply. What do you really want at this time? You reflect deeply, be honest with yourself. What do you really want at this time? Then from there, you know how to approach it. You need to think around what interests you, what kind of environment you like to work, and the like. Take, for example, if you are the kind that doesn't like to sit down for too long on a spot, maybe you will not be able to do your accounting work very well. And the like. So just know what you like, what's your kind of character, and that's like. Then you now start exploring. What do I mean by start exploring? Then that thing you want to do. See, because the fact that, you realize that, I need to move, it does not mean you stop immediately. Say, as an accountant, you now say, I want to be a fashion person. So it doesn't mean you have to stop that immediately and put to that one. So you can, while you are doing your accounting work, while you are still on the current job you are doing, gradually you can take, if you are a student, you can take online classes in that other field that you think you want to go for. If you are a worker, you can start the other field you want to go to, then check if there are evening classes, if there are weekend classes that could. Then also look for someone who is in that line, who can guide you. But above all, what matters is whatever decision you are taking, having realized yourself, the next thing is look for someone you can take as a mentor or as a counselor. Both of you can sit down together and make a plan. This thing you want to do. But by the grace of God, we are blessed with so many people. I respect Pastor Lee so much. He can do a very good job in that area. He has been doing, because we discuss a lot. Pastor Daffy is there. You can move to any other person. Just being sincere with yourself, then let somebody walk you through how to transit from the current state you are to the next stage you want to get to.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's celebrate them. Okay. So we have our last question from the first session Pastor Duffy took. This person says, if I consistently receive recognition and recommendation for each of the multiple skills or talents I demonstrate, please, let's say around 7. Should I act on everyone's advice for each one? And if I choose to pursue them, how can I avoid becoming a victim of context switching? And they define context switching as constantly jumping between projects without clear focus or progress.
Okay, thank you. That's a very fantastic question. When I was in 100 level, I had this, or 200 level, I had this thing in my mind for a very long time. I call it the dilemma of the multi-talented. If you are skilled or talented in different areas, it becomes very difficult to look for the particular area that you want to focus on. It is a real thing, right? Now, one of the things that I come to realize is that it is okay to have hobbies. It is not every talent or hobby that you monetize at first. There are some that you get to monetize in the future, right? So it is okay to have multiple talents. It's okay to be good at multiple things. However, allow yourself to have hobbies. The fact that you know how to cook very well right now doesn't mean that you should be a cook or a chef, right? The fact that you know how to make people laugh doesn't mean you have to be a comedian or a content creator, right? You just need to speak to yourself and say that, okay, which of these one do I want to focus my energy on right now? Because the truth is that, what do we call it now? There is a word. Is it consistency is the mother of lasting impression? Repetition is the mother of lasting impression. Which means that if you focus on one thing for a period of time, you gain mastery over that thing, and then it gives you a leverage to then diversify your talent. For example, let me give you an example. T.Y. Bello started as a singer, right? But at a point, she shifted to becoming a photographer and focused on photography. And that also has now given her the platform to then pursue her passion again in music. Are you following what I'm saying here now? Which means that, and God did not actually destine us to do one thing. However, we should focus on something so that we can leverage on that thing to give us opening doors for other things to do. By the time, if you start as a fashion illustrator now, like Pastor Dotto, you would eventually grow to then train other fashion illustrators. Now you become a trainer. You also then grow also to become a business educator, to teach other people how to run their, that's 3 things already. And there are other things that it begins to do also. So I would advise that give yourself permission to have hobbies, focus on 1 or 2 things, and then give it your best. Scale it up to a point, and then you can then pursue your other interest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope our questions have been answered properly. So on that question, this person has a lot of voices in their ear saying all of them they are very good at. How do they deal with that?
So if you have people that are encouraging you that, oh, you're very good at this, you should do this, you should do that, you should do all that, it's fantastic. But people can tell you what you should do. They don't know what you want. Not everybody knows what you want. They only have an idea what they think you should be doing because they feel like, for example, somebody saw, I think somebody saw me one time. I was in secondary school, and I was making my classmates laugh in class. And he came to me and was like, you're very good, though. You should be a salesperson. Do you get? Somebody else might see me preaching somewhere and be like, you're very good, go and start a church. Another person might see me somewhere else singing, be like, you're very good, go and release an album. You know? So different people have different opinions of what you should do based on the version of you that they know. You are the one that know yourself. You are the one that know what you want. Appreciate people when they get it down. It is something worth looking into. However, they should not be the ultimate judge. They could be pointers, but they should not be the ultimate judge as to what you should make.
I think this is something that maybe not every, but most creatives struggle with. Because one day you have an idea of making an airplane, the next day you have an idea of becoming a shoemaker. And then if you follow all those voices, you just realize that after some time, you won't even understand what you're doing anymore. So this is what I will advise, and I think that this is the same thing that maybe I did. I'll give you this analogy. Say you have 5 bottles, and you're trying to fill up the 5 bottles. If you try to fill up a little bit of this, 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 when people come and ask you, what have you done? And you show them, they'll say you have not done anything. But if you try to fill up one first, fill up the other one, fill up the third one, if people come and they see 3 filled up, they feel like, you've done something. So bringing it back to a practical context, I would say that for every of those skills that people tell you that you're good at, it is something to pay attention to. Because I often say that being multi-passionate or being multi-talented can be I don't want to say curse, but it can be negative and it can be a blessing, a very big blessing. Trust me. It means that you have more leverage than an average person. That is what it is. So you want to identify a skill or skills that intersect all of those things that people talk about. For instance, I'm a fashion illustrator. I create content online. I'm a business educator. I am a tutor. I teach the word of God. One thing that brings all of those things together is public speaking. So it means that I cannot but learn how to speak publicly. So you have to identify skills that intersect all of those things that people have been pointing you to. It means that you have it in you, but you have to refine those skills. So what will happen is that you also want to focus on one first, and I would advise that you focus on the one that will make you the most amount of money first. And then when you learn how to make money from that one, the money you've made is a leverage through which you can then diversify in other ones. And then while you have built success in one, you've built certain relationships, you've built certain knowledge, you've built certain experiences, you've built certain skills that will make it easy for you to transition into the other one easily. Then when you begin to tell people that, I do this one, they feel like, you have built a level. You've built a level of authority and trust that makes it easy for them to now want to patronize you in all of these ones, right? For there's somebody I use. I think I don't want to mention his name, but there's a music artist that is There's a music artist that he built a very strong personal brand by being successful in music, and then before you knew it, he released a clothing line. And it is doing very well. I can tell you that it is doing very well. So it's just about building one first, learn all the skills necessary and required for that one, and then transition into the other ones. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, our panelists. Can we celebrate our panelists one more time? Thank you so much. So because of our time, we'll just ask the panelists to give us one panelist that will give us a final word. So there should be a voting right now. Sir? Yeah, we just need one person. They will give us. All right, so Pastor Rosie will give us final word.
Okay. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
What should that be? I would say, at the early stage of my career, what's made the difference? Or what helped me in my career? It's at a point in time, that should be 2007. That time, I was already working as what do we call those who work in factory? A factory worker. Yeah. I have my first degree in accounting as at that time. I'm working as a factory worker. And in that place, I see a lot of opportunities. Yes, I work as a factory worker. Then I meet someone who work in the office, that same place, the administrative office. The person is an auditor. I made him my friend. Every break time, I go to his office to say, "Guy, how are you? What's happening?" It will ask me questions. I make friends with those in that office. We talk together. Then from there, I was open to a lot of opportunity that exists in that organization. Then the next thing, from there, I got to know that the whole organization, it's a multinational. The whole organization, they have a very few chartered accountants. The guy is in internal audit. In internal audit, yes, they have 2. In the whole of finance, where majority of them are supposed to be chartered accountants, I think they have 3 then. So from there, I caught the vision that, okay, with my first degree in accounting, not minding and working as a factory worker, then I need to take up the opportunity that exists in this place. Then the next thing, I enroll for my ICANN. Then I begin to write ICANN exams. So at a point in time, I had not finished with all the courses. I think I had gotten to intermediates. So that opportunity comes up, they place an advertisement, this, and the like. So I applied. Then they see, before then, I was also studied, Excel, Microsoft Excel. I'd gone for a training in that. So the next thing is, out of so many people that applied, and it's a kind of internal advertisement, what gave me that opportunity then was the decision I took when I was with my friend, when I realized that, opportunity abounds in this place, and what could help me is to quickly go for my accounting professional course. So when they were shortlisting, what made me to be shortlisted then was, this guy, he studied accounting, he can work with Excel, and he's almost done with his professional accounting course. Let us pick him. Then the next thing is, the HR manager invited me to the office. Rotimi, Lanti work in the factory. I said, yes, sir. Why do you want to come to the office? All sorts of questions like that. Then the next thing is, okay, I hope you'll be able to cope, Sha. So the chief accountant, who I did not know, honestly, I did not know anybody. I had not lobbied with anybody. Just say, the chief accountant said, if he fired you because of this and this and that he hoped I was not going to disappoint him. So what am I saying? It's just like that verse that Pastor quotes for us in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. It says, after this, there was a column, and it says, time and chance. It then means, if you are prepared, that chance will come. That opportunity will come for those who are, it is only those who are prepared that will be able to grab the opportunity. Whether in the workplace, whether in the business palace, or whatever you are doing in life, if you are prepared, opportunity will come and you'll be able to grab the opportunity. If you are not prepared for it, it will go to another person and you will keep lamenting and regretting that, oh, it should have been my own opportunity. So thank you very much.
Wow. Can we please celebrate all of all our panelists as they go back? Can we celebrate them? Thank you so much, Bradami. Thank you so much, Pastor Dotson. Thank you so much, Pastor Rosemary. Can we please keep celebrating them? Keep celebrating them. Keep celebrating them. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful experience. If you were blessed by this session, could you give a shout of joy? Okay, great. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much.